Hi everybody, today we're going to be doing lesson 3 in our Eureka math book. So we are going back to Eureka. So you will need your Eureka math book today. Lesson 3, and we're still on time, okay? So the last couple weeks, you guys have learned how to tell time on an analog clock. You also have learned how to tell time on a number line. Counting from increments of 5, 10s, and 15s. And you guys have learned about elapsed time. So those are the 3 things that we've covered so far. Our objective today is that we will be able to count by 5s and 1s on the number line as a strategy to tell time. So now we're getting into counting by 5s and 1s on a number line, not counting by 5s, 10s, or 15s. Okay, so one step deeper into telling time. This is something that you guys are going to see in your work, your independent work today, okay? So make sure you're paying really close attention on how I do this. Now, this says plot, here's that word, plot points on the number line for each time shown on the clock below. So each of these clocks, we need to plot the time on this number line here, okay? Then draw lines. We're going to draw lines to match the clocks to the points. So once we've plotted where that time is on the number line, we will draw a line to show which time it's connecting to, okay? Let me erase that real quick. All right. Here we go. Let's do this first one. And I think I might change my color here. Okay, so this first one, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And let me erase these little lines here. Okay. Okay, so let's figure out what time this one is right here. What time is it? Well, remember, the small hand here, this is the hour hand. The long hand here, this is the minute hand. So we need to figure out what time is it? Okay, so here we go. Let's figure out what the hour is, okay? Well, here I see it's pointed between 4 and 5. It's not quite at 5 o'clock yet, right? So that means the hour is 4 o'clock. So I'm going to write it down there so I don't forget. And I would suggest that you do the same on your worksheet when you guys are doing it in your math workbooks. Now we're going to figure out what the minute is. So we're going to count by 5s to figure that out. Before we do that, let's talk about what each of these little dots mean right here. Do you guys see those dots? Each one of those dots is a minute. Okay, so each one of them, that is 1 minute. So let's figure out what time it is on this analog clock. Here we go. Okay, let's count by 5s. You guys ready? We're going to start at 12. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so I'm at 30. I'm not quite at 35 yet. Now I'm going to count by 1s to figure out what my minute is. Ready? 31, 32, 33, 34. So what time is it? 4:34. All right, so now I need to plot that on my number line. Okay, here we go. Let's find where 4:34 is on this number line. Whoops, that zoomed out really quick. Okay, so here's 4 o'clock here, right? That's our start time, 4 o'clock. My end time down here is 5 o'clock, and I need to figure out where 4:34 is. So each one of these lines, you guys, each one of these is 1 minute, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop, there's 5 minutes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, okay? So each one of those lines is 1 minute. Keep that in mind when we are trying to figure out where 4:34 is. So we're going to count by fives. Actually, look at this. They give us where the tens are. So actually, we can go all the way because we know that our minute is in the 30s, right? So we can do this really quick, go all the way to the 30, and then we need to skip 4 more times, right, to get to 34. So we're going to start at 30 and go 31, 32, 33, 34. So there is where I'm going to plot for 34. All right, so this one right here is going to be connected to this time. And I'm going to erase the little hops there. All right, guys, let's go to the next one. Now we are at 4, and I might change my color here just to change it up. 4:01. So I need to go on this number line. I need to figure out where is 4:01. So here's 4 o'clock right here, right? I'm just going to hop over one time, and there is 4:01. So I'm going to connect my line there. Okay, now on to the next. Not too bad, right? This one, let me zoom in on this one here. And you guys are going to see my lines, but that's okay. We'll try and put it back. Okay. So, what time is it? What time is it? Well, it's between 4 and 5. It's not quite at 5 yet, right? So it can't be 5 o'clock. That means the hour is 4 o'clock. Now we need to figure out the minute. So we're going to skip count by fives, and we're going to go around the clock and then count by ones, okay? You guys ready? 5, 10, 15. All right, I'm at 15, but it's not, see that minute hand is not quite pointed at the 3. So we're going to skip count one time over, 15, 16. So we know that our minute is 16. 4:16. Okay, let me zoom out. And then I need to find 4:16 on the clock here, on the number line, excuse me. 4:16 on the number line. Let me erase that so it doesn't look so messy. Okay, here we go. We are at 4 o'clock here, right? Now we're going to go to 4:16. So here's 10 right there, and then here's 15, right? So 1 over would be 16. If you didn't know that this was 15, that's okay. All you have to do is start at 10 and go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So then you can connect your line to this one. All right, let's go to the next one here. I'm just going to erase some of these. Okay, next clock. Let's zoom in over here. Here's our time on the clock. All right, our hour. This is a kind of a tricky one. It looks like it's pointed at 5 o'clock, right? Well, don't let that trick you. Look at this minute hand. The minute hand has not passed 12 o'clock. It hasn't passed it yet. That means it's not 5 o'clock yet. It's really close to 5 o'clock, but it's not quite there. So let me erase that real quick. So that means that if it's not 5 o'clock, what time is it? 4 o'clock, right? Good, so 4 o'clock. Now let's figure out what the minute is. What time is it? Now we're gonna skip count by fives all the way around the clock and then count by ones, right? Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. All right, now we're gonna count by ones. 51, 52, 53. So my time is 4. I'm sorry, I wrote that wrong. 4:53. All right, so let's put this one on the number line. See if I can get my everything back to the way it was. Not bad. Looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's plot 4:53. I'll erase it so it's not on the number line. Okay. And I think I'm going to do a different color just to change it up a little bit here. Okay, so here's 4 o'clock all the way down here. And then I'm going to do 53. So Lord, count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so now we're at 50. We're going to count by ones, right? 51, 52, 53. So we know that this one is connected right here. Okay, I'm going to erase this stuff real quick for us. I should be using my big erasers, right? If we were in the classroom, you guys would be telling me, use your big eraser, Miss McAllister. Okay, here we go. Our last one. Oh, guess, look at, they did it for us. 4:44. So they plotted that one for us. So you guys are going to be doing the same thing on your independent work, okay? Let's go to the next slide. This one's a little bit easier. And you guys are going to just get this real quick. PE starts at 1:32. That's what time it starts, okay? Draw hands on the clock below to show what time PE starts. So we're looking at 32, okay? 1:32. Well, I know that my hour hand is going to be pointed towards the 1, right? Maybe a little bit past the 1 because it's almost half past the time. So I'm going to put my hour hand here. It's going to be a little one. And then my minute hand, let's count by 5s until we hit 30. And then we're going to count by 1s, right? Because we have to get to 32. So here we go. Starting at 12, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, I'm at 30. Now I'm going to go 31, 32. So I should have my minute hand should be pointing towards 32. Okay, here's the next one we need to solve. The clock shows what time Zachary starts playing with his action figures. Okay, so this is the start time he started to play with his action figures. What time does he start playing with his action figures? Okay, so I need to look at this clock and figure that out. Well, it looks like it's right past 2 o'clock, right? Here's 2 o'clock. It's right past. It's not quite at 3. So I know my hour is 2. I'm going to put that over there. And then I need to figure out what the minutes are now. Here's the minute hand. Okay, so I'm going to count by 5s around the clock and then by 1s. Okay, are you guys ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, but it's not pointed at the 6 directly, right? It's pointed right here. 31, 32. So the time is 2:32. Let's do the next one. He plays with his action figures for 23 minutes. So after this, he plays with them for another 23 minutes. What time does he finish playing? Okay, so if he plays with his action figures for 23 minutes, we need to look at the clock and we need to figure out what time does he stop playing. All right, so I have to add 23 minutes to this time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What we could do is we could count by 1s until we get to 23. Okay, we could do that. And I think that that's the way I'm going to do it. So starting there, are you guys ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Whoa, that took me a while, right? That took me a while. I might show you guys a simpler way to do it. So that's where I landed, okay? Now I'm going to show you a simpler way to do it, but you're going to have to count by 5s or by 10s, okay? So you have a choice. You could count by 5s or 10s and then figure it out, okay? So here we go. If I need to go by 5 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. All right, guys, let's do this one now. It says the clock shows what time Zachary starts playing with his action figures. So this clock right here. The question is, what time does he start playing with his action figures? So we need to figure that out. What time does he start playing with his action figures? So let's look at the hour first. What is the hour? Well, it's right just past 2 o'clock, but not quite at 3, right? So we know the hour is 2. And now I have to figure out the minute. So I'm going to count by 5s and then by 1s. You guys ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Then I'm going to count by 1s, right? Because it's not pointed directly at the 6. 31, 32. So what time did he start playing? 2:32. The next question says, he plays with his action figures for 23 minutes. What time does he finish playing? So there's a couple ways that you can do it, okay? And I'm going to give you both strategies. One of the ways is because now we're doing elapsed time, right? This is something that we focused on last week. But when we talked about elapsed time, you guys were counting by 5s, 10s, or 15s to figure it out. Now we're having to count by 5s and 1s. So a little bit harder, right? A little bit more difficult, but not too bad. So 2 ways that you could do this. You could count by 1s until you counted 23 times, right? That's one way you could do it. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and keep going until you count 23 minutes later. That's kind of long. I'm going to show you. So that's one way you can do it. If that makes sense to you, do it that way. If you want a different strategy, I am going to show you something very cool. You guys ready? Here we go. I noticed that it's 23 minutes, right? 3, I'm looking at that 3 right here. I see that there's 3 more minutes until I hit the 7. Since there's 3 more minutes until I hit the 7, that means I can start counting by 5s, right? So here's 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I can count by 5s until I get to 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. So now, what time does he stop playing? He stops playing at, let's count, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So the time that he stops playing is 2:55. All right, now we are going to do the next problem. Draw hands on the clock to the right to show what time Zachary finishes playing. So this time here, we are going to put on the analog clock right here. So 2:55. Okay, so I know my hour is 2. So I need to put my hour hand, and it's really close. Isn't 2:55? Is that really close to 3 o'clock? It is, right? So I'm actually going to point it really close to 3, but I'm not going to get quite there, right? Because it's not 3 o'clock yet, but it's getting close. And then my minute is 55. So now I'm going to count by 5s until I get to 55. You guys ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So my minute is going to point towards the 11. There we go. All right, guys, now we're going to be labeling this number line, okay? But you have to follow the directions. And you guys are going to be doing something very similar as well. Label the first and the last tick marks with 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So these are tick marks right here, okay? So I'm going to label the first one. Let me just erase that real quick. Whoops. The first one with 2 o'clock, and then the next one with 3 o'clock. So 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Then it says, then plot Zachary's start and finish times. Label the start time with a B and a finish time with an F. Okay, so where is his start time on this number line? Well, here I'm noticing that what are they counting by? They're counting by fives, right? 5, 10, 15, 20. So they don't have these small lines. We're going to have to put them in there if we need to, okay? So let me erase that real quick. All right. So let's count. We're going to do our start time first. 2:32. So here we go. 2:05, 2:10, 2:15, 2:20, 2:25, 2:30. Okay, I'm at 2:30 right here, right? Now I'm going to have to put in my minutes because they didn't do it. So we have to do it for ourselves. We're going to do 4 lines in between the 30 and the 35, okay? So let me do black here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we go 31. Let me change my color again. 31, 32. And now we can plot it on the number line right there. So sometimes you're going to have to put the lines in there. And then it said to label it B. So we'll put a B right above it. Okay. Now our next time is 2:55. 2:55. So let's find that on the number line. Counting by fives, or we can do tens, right? They're already there for us. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then 5 more is 55. So this is 2:55. And we're going to label this one with the letter F. All right, guys. That is it for today. And good luck. If you need help, please come to the help group and we will help you with this.